So welcome back to the channel. So it's a couple of days since I did the last update. The last time I updated, we'd got the pair of the clownfish. So these guys have settled in really well. They're just kind of chilling around. They're really colourful, really friendly. They're eating really well. Just typical clownfish. So what I did yesterday is we went and had a look around. So the idea really was just to try and see what we could get that was pretty kind of hardy without spending an awful lot of money at this point. So there was a local seller who was selling some frags. So I got some pulse coral and then some zoas. So you can see here, I put the zoas at the front, near the bottom. Also, got a hammer. So that's a green toxic hammer. And then you can see there's a small bubble tip anemone. There's a guy locally that was doing really well with bubble tip anemone. So that's a rainbow rose bubble tip anemone. So put those in yesterday, as well as you can see this little guy here. Sorry, I stirred the tank up this morning a little bit just to get some more. There's a saffron goby. That guy was just basically there just to kind of go through the sand and just help anything that gets anywhere near the bottom, really, from the clownfish. Obviously, it's really difficult to try and feed like 2 fish in a tank like this, so there's going to be little bits over. And also we got a couple of cleaner shrimps. So just a couple of really basic cleanup crew at this stage. Obviously, like I say, it's just really difficult to feed a tank of this size. I've been probably putting a cube in probably, that cube lasted me just over a day. So I've been kind of putting the cube in some tank water to thaw out, and probably putting about a third or a quarter in it every time, and then that just gets me 3 or 4 feed-ins. So we only put the corals in last night. We only got those. That was a last minute thing last night. As I said, the frags were quite cheap, like £10 a frag, something like that. So they won't break the bank. And then, like I said, the cleanup crew, the shrimps, they're doing really well. There's one there, I don't know where the other one is. It was over there earlier on, but I don't know where it's disappeared off to now. So there was a bit of an incident with Anemone. It basically went for a wander last night, and it ended up in the reef wave pump. So at the moment, I've switched the reef waves off, just temporarily. I need to. It doesn't seem to have done it any harm whatsoever. It's definitely coming back. It's just taking a while. Obviously, it trying to find itself in the pump is probably not the best idea. I mean, they aren't the cleverest things in the world. I probably need to get some guards if I can for the Reef Wave 45s. I've had a quick look around and I can't find any easily, so I was hoping I'd find a 3D print design and get someone to print it off for me, but it looks like I'm going to struggle with that one. So what I've done is I've switched the reef waves off for the time being, and the idea is that just want to let the anemone settle down a little bit. Obviously, it's gone through a little bit of a traumatic period last night, so it's doing really well. It's kind of come right back this morning. Doesn't seem to have done it any harm, doesn't seem to have done it any damage. It's just obviously probably just shocked the life out of it that it was almost getting sucked into the pump. Probably going to leave it till probably lunchtime, and then hopefully the anemone will have kind of like settled down a little bit, and then I'll put the reef waves back on. So we've still got a rat's nest of cables here at the bottom of the tank to sort out, and as you can see, the GHL is here as well. So basically the GHL's plugged in now. It's covering the temperature and it's also recording pH, but it needs to be in the cabinet. So I've got all the mounts now for the cables. It's just I didn't get a chance to do it because we were quite busy yesterday. So hopefully if I can get a chance tonight, I'm going to tidy all those cables up, and then at the same time the GHL can go in the cabinet And then the next job after that is we've got the Red Sea DIY covers. They need to be sorted out, so that's another job for this week. There's no fish in there that will jump really. The clowns aren't going to jump. You know, the saffron goby's not going to jump. So you know, the tank's pretty secure at the moment in terms of being able to, you know, cover anything that might even try and escape. You know, there's just not going to happen. So we need to get those covers on before we do, you know, potentially in the future put different fish in that might jump. And also we need to cut the top of the weir cover. So obviously it's really frustrating that Red Sea don't let you have the option of just like pulling it out. I really find that really surprising, to be honest with you. I mean, they sell the LED lights. I don't know why they just not have a little panel that just pulls out and then you can just clip it back on afterwards if you don't want to do it, but you have to cut the whole thing out for the light, which is really, really frustrating. So again, that's another job that needs to happen this week. Need to just make a little cutout for the radion light up there. Yeah, so yeah, everything's doing well. I'm gonna do a quick test on the tank for ammonia nitrite and nitrate later on. And then we'll see what those results are. And what I'll do, I'll pop those out on the screen, probably like here. And then yeah, we'll just keep an eye on the tank. Really, I'm not gonna do anything crazy with it over the next few days. I'm just gonna let everything settle down, let the tank bed in. You know, let these fish settle. Like I say, these are all really, you know, relatively hardy corals. The only thing, I mean, if you could look at the, you know, the hammer, I mean, there's no lights on at the moment, but obviously, you know, some of the polyps are coming out on it. But yeah, everything seems to be doing okay. No major incidents other than the anemone issue last night. I was a little bit shocked when I got up this morning, but you know, hey ho, like I said, it's coming back quite well. You know, it's certainly got the tentacles extended at the moment, but no damage on it. It looked absolutely stunning last night when I put it in. All the tentacles really puffed out and everything. Like I say, what we need to do really is just get the foot to settle down. So yeah, once it kind of gets sticky on the rock, I can put the reef waves back on. Right now, it doesn't cause any problem whatsoever. There's plenty of flow in the tank just on the return pumps, but obviously the reef waves are there just to kind of just get things into suspension so it can all go into the filter system.
48 hours later.
I thought I'll give you a quick update today. So yeah, the tank's doing really well. Everything's kind of settling in really well. Obviously clownfish are doing great. This is the female, or what looks like to be like a female. She's really hungry all the time, really greedy guts. And then we've got the male at the back. Yeah, but they both generally chill out together. Occasionally they'll have a kind of a little bit of a session on their own, but most of the time they're together. Rockwork's doing really well. Looks nice and clear in there obviously now. We don't have any of those kind of issues with the cloudy water. The reef mat and the clarity from Seachem really cleared all of that up. Occasionally if I touch the sand, it'll stir up a lot of other kind of junk, but yeah, the reef mat pulls it out within a couple of hours normally. So yeah, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that, you know, made that mistake with the live sand. But I mean, I think the tank's doing really well off it, to be honest with you. I did a test the other day. There was 0 readings on anything, so looks like it's kicking in. I'm going to do another test on that later on today. So again, what I'll do, I'll pop up the results here, and then you can see what the results are. But yeah, looks like it's cycling really well. So I've added a couple of extra coral frags. So we've got there's a Duncan there. I think there's about 4 or 5 heads on that. So these are basically local frags that I've found. So I'm quite lucky in my area. We've got some really good local shops, but also it looks like quite a lot of people have bought frags over the years. They've done really well in the tanks, and obviously they're now kind of fragging them out. So rather than kind of hit the shops and get frags from shops, I'm kind of starting, you know, just getting them from local hobbyists where I can initially. And then obviously what we'll do is once the tank fills out a little bit, we'll start getting some specimen pieces in there. So at the moment, it's just basically just to give it a little bit of life. So, like I said, we've got Duncans in there. They're doing really well. Put those in yesterday. They're all nice and open and everything's doing okay. I've put them here for now. I'm not sure whether they're going to open up today. The light's only just come on, so I'll check on those in a few hours. And we'll see how they get on. It's a possibility I might need to move those, but we'll just, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Looks like some pulsing xenia here, so that's done really well. That was one of the first ones I put in a few days ago. That's doing really well on there. At the moment, what I've done is most of them have come on plugs, so all I've done is I've just kind of wedged the plug in a rock. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of probably snap the plugs off and then kind of glue them down onto the rock properly. But I was just making sure that they were okay first of all before I kind of settle them into full position. So I've got some Bam Bam Zoas here. They're starting to open up again. Lights only just come on, so give those guys a go. Those were quite small when I got them, so those are probably going to take a while, but apparently they are pretty quick growers. Got some more Zoas here. So again, just wait and watch those spread around a little bit. Hopefully they'll spread onto this rock here, but at the moment they're just on a plug. Got some more pulsing xenia here. So again, I've put that at the bottom. Looks like it's doing okay. That was one I got last night. We've got some green toxic pallies here. There's one lot here on this rock here at the bottom, and then there's another lot over here. Not quite sure about those. Maybe I made a mistake getting those, but anyway, it is what it is. What I might do is I might kind of just put them on one big lump of rock. So I'm kind of thinking put the two colonies together on this rock, but I'm kind of almost liking the fact that they're split out at the moment. So I'm just going to see how it goes. At the moment, this one's not on any rock whatsoever apart from the bit that it came with. So you never know. There's a chance it might spread onto that little bit of rock there. If it does, great. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Same with this one, really. I'm hoping apparently they can take over really quickly. So I'm just kind of keeping them on their own. We've got some more Zoas here. We've got some mushrooms here. So those are really nice. Quite like those. Got those last night. Those have opened up really well. And then we've got what was that? The green toxic hammer, I think it was. So yeah, everything's doing really well. Sulphur gobies down over there. He just kind of likes sitting at that side of the tank. He just literally, one minute he'll be at the back of the tank, and then the next he'll work his way to that little depression at the front, and he just literally goes back and forward all day long. Doesn't hide, he just sits out all day. So yeah, I was a bit worried when we got him. I thought he was going to kind of hide in the rock work and we'd probably not see him, but literally ever since we got him, after the first day or so, he's been out most of the time. I think he just likes looking out of the window, quite frankly. So it's near the front window, so he just looks like probably looking at what's going on by. But yeah, I've got cleaner shrimp. There's one here. I don't know where the other one is at the moment. Oh, it's under there. There's the other one there. So I've got a couple of cleaner shrimp in there as well. At the moment, those are just mopping up the spare bits of food that the fish miss. But yeah, everything's doing really well. So here's a full-on shot of the tank. As you can see, the clowns are hanging out together now. But yeah, everything's doing really well. So a couple of little things I just need to sort out, really. As you can see, we sorted out the rat's nester cables as well. That was one more thing that I needed to kind of take care of. So I did that the other day. I'll kind of open that up for you. So it looks pretty good, actually. Got the GHL here. Got the GHL power bars with all the sockets. Got the room down here to put the dosing fluids, and there's a space at the front as well. And then what I've done is I bought these second hand, the Tunzi Refugium lights. So that's where the bubble tip is at the moment. It's kind of just sat on I've jury rigged a little kind of platform for it just to get it off. I've covered the two kind of intakes back into the back end of the sump with some egg crate just to stop anything from getting through in case it did want to make an escape. But it's just at the back, it's just chilling out. Yeah, I've just put it in a little tub with some holes in it to get some flow through it, but the flow goes over the top anyway, so it probably does a good job without the holes. But yeah, it's kind of just sat there chilling, and obviously at the moment it was kind of feeling sorry for itself after, you know, throwing itself in the power head. So yeah, hopefully this will be a few weeks, probably sat in here until it makes its full-on recovery, and then in the meantime, hopefully I'm going to get some covers for the reef waves just to stop it getting sucked in again. So yeah, hopefully by the time it recovers, those covers will be on, and I'll kind of give it another version, and hopefully it will have kind of stuck itself to the rock. At the moment, it doesn't like the fact that it's kind of, so it's on the bottom at the moment. It's on the plastic tub. Looks like it's put its foot on there. I was looking the other day, and it does look like it's kind of secured itself to the plastic tub, which is good. But obviously, can't really put the plastic. Well, don't really want to put the plastic tub in the tank. So what I want is it to kind of wedge itself on one of the rocks, and then I can move the rock out with the Anemone and just put it somewhere, and hopefully it'll kind of stay there. If it doesn't, if it wasn't as round, that's great. But you know what I don't want to do is have the same issue again. So it's not doing anyone any harm at the moment. There seems to be doing. I gave it a little bit of shrimp yesterday, and it just had the shrimp. So yeah, just build that up over the next few weeks, and hopefully that'll make a full-on recovery. But yeah, the Sump's looking really well. Really happy with the way that's came out. It is very, very tight in there. I mean, I can just about pull the tray out. As you can see, it will slide out. I'm not going to pull it all because it'll all probably come out apart, but it will come out when I need it to. It'll only have to come out every so often. So yeah, and I've left a little bit of space above. Obviously, if I want to put some more GHL stuff in there, if I want to put like an ion director or a KH director, there's plenty of room to expand up. I think I said the other day, bought the second hand. All of the GHL stuff was second hand, but the doses came. Obviously, just need to kind of clean. I think one of them needs a good clean. The other one wasn't so bad, but this one here just is a little bit dirty. So I'll take the heads off there over the weekend probably. Clean everything up and then put it all back. I'm not really ready to start dosing yet, so at the moment everything's doing well just on what's in the tank with the water, with the Coral Reef Pro Salt. But obviously, when I start putting more in, it's probably going to start using up the elements a little bit, you know, the calcium and magnesium, etc. So I'm probably going to have to start dosing it pretty quickly. So yeah, so everything's doing really well. So yeah, that's the update for today. I don't think anything's going to really change until weekend. What I might do this weekend is I might just take a trip out on Saturday and possibly put one more fish in. So yeah, I'm thinking about it at the moment what to put in. Possibly something like a Royal Grammar or a Wrasse, or you know, something like that. Something that's going to get a bit of movement in the tank really. Yeah, just want to kind of, you know, get just basically give it a bit of life really. I mean, the clowns are doing really well, you know, they're great to watch, but obviously because they hang around together, they're just not really, generally most of the time they're not kind of filling the tank out. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of space to fill with a 6-foot tank. You know, when you kind of zoom out of it, you know, it doesn't look like there's a lot in there, and most of the stuff I've got is for the bottom of the tank. You know, we're nowhere near ready for looking at SPS and LPS and all that kind of stuff yet, or the hard to keep LPS, should I say. So yeah, obviously what I'm thinking is like SPS, you know, up here on these upper echelons here, you know, along with some like platy corals, and then just fill it in underneath with, you know, with softies and torches and hammers and things like that. So, and then obviously near the bottom we've got, you know, fill it up hopefully with different types of mushrooms and the zoas and things like that, and just really get it nice and colourful. You know, I'm looking at the moment at different options, but I say I'm trying at the moment just to get frags off people, because, you know, they're obviously a lot cheaper than what you get in the shops. You know, the shops are great, but obviously they put a premium on everything because they have to, which is fine. But I'm not going to pay a premium when I can just get the standard or you know, even some of the funky stuff. You know, I can get it relatively local, relatively cheaply. You know, at the moment I'm paying probably about £10, £5 to £10 a frag for the zoas and the xenia. You know, the mushrooms, they were, you know, probably what, 20 quid. You know, the toxic up there, you know, that was about £20. You know, that looks really good. You know, the candy canes, you know, probably again £20, something like that. And then, you know, the Duncan's 20 quid. So, you know, we're not busting the bank at the moment. And, you know, if anything was to happen, I mean, everything's doing all right at the moment, but if anything's to happen, it's not going to cost me a fortune, you know, in losses. So yeah, just let it build up for the next few weeks. You know, I'll probably start adding a few more different types of frags in here and there. And then really, you know, probably want to look at start adding some, I quite like torch corals, but I think we're very, very early for torches yet. So I think probably give it another few weeks before torches. But, you know, knowing me, I'll probably say, right, in a couple of days' time, here's a torch. But I'm trying to not to. I did have the option yesterday of buying a really nice torch, and I kind of walked away from it. But there are some really nice ones knocking around locally that are really cheap. Again, you know, it's just holding back the temptation to just buy stuff for the sake of it at the moment. So just let everything settle in. Keep testing. Like I say, at the moment, all the test results are looking really well. And then, yeah, just let it settle in and go from there. So catch up with you soon.